Hello everyone, thank you so much for being here. If you're new around here, I am Amy and I will be your yoga teacher for the day. And if you've been here before, then welcome back. So today we're going to do a nice, all levels friendly Vinyasa flow with a focus on opening through the heart, opening through the chest and the shoulders, and maybe finding a little bit of strength in the upper body as well. So as always, just listen to your body, take whatever variations you need, and just be kind to yourself. We're going to get started today standing at the top of the mat. So bringing the feet to hip width apart, spreading the toes, maybe rocking from left to right and then from front to back, and then finding that perfect sweet spot of balance with the weight evenly distributed through every side of the foot. You can soften the knees just slightly to create space for your lower back to lengthen down, and lift up through both sides of the waist, drawing the chest forward and the shoulders back. You can have the hands resting wherever they feel comfortable, and reach that crown of the head up towards the sky, finding length through all four sides of the neck. Start to take deep breaths in and out through the nose, filling up the belly with more and more air on every inhale, and contracting the core as you exhale, squeezing out every last drop of air, making each breath a little bit longer, a little bit deeper, and a little bit smoother than the last one. Just take a moment here to scan the body, noticing how the body is feeling today, if there are any areas of tension, and noticing what's going on in your mind right now. So if there's lots of thoughts swirling around, if there's stillness in the mind, no right or wrong answer, just taking a moment to notice your inner landscape. And while we're here, let's set an intention for our practice today. So today, do you want to be kind to yourself? Do you want to take it easy? Today, do you maybe want to challenge yourself? Today, do you want to be really committed to focusing on your breath or focusing on the sensations in your body? So just take a moment to set that intention and tuck it away in the back of your mind. Take one more full, complete, deep breath here, filling up every corner of the belly with air, and releasing all of that air out through the nose. On your next breath in, sweep both arms up overhead, reaching up towards the sky, keeping the head in line with the spine, feeling that stretch through the arms, through both sides of the waist. And then breathe out, draw the elbows in towards the ribs, cactus the arms, spread through the fingers, opening through the chest. Take a deep breath in, reach back up for the sky, softening those shoulders away from the ears. And then breathe out, slide the right hand down the outside of the right leg, take a big stretch over to the right, keeping those left fingers nice and active, opening through the left side body. Let's take another full breath in here, inhaling to send that breath into the left ribs, the left lung, and exhaling, maybe taking it a little bit deeper into that side stretch. On your next breath in, sweep both arms up overhead, and then release that air as you take it over to the other side, stretching over to the left, pressing the left hand into the left thigh, and reaching those right fingers toward the left of the room. Deep breath in here, feel that right side body filling with air and cracking open. And release the air as you maybe go a little bit further into the stretch. We'll flow through this a few times, so inhale, sweep the arms up, exhale, cactus. Deep breath in, reach for the sky, and release that air as you stretch over to the right. Inhale, reach up, exhale, take it over to the left. Breathe in, reach for the sky, grow tall. Breathe out, cactus, open through the chest, maybe take it into a little back bend. Deep breath in, reach up, and breathe out, taking it over to the right. Inhale, reaching for the sky, stretching through the fingertips. Exhale, reaching over to the left, maybe going a little bit deeper than before. Now inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Imagine like you're holding a big beach ball between your hands. And then exhale, bend the knees deeply. Imagine placing that beach ball down on the ground as you come into your Uttanasana. Let's take a few moments here to just pedal out through the legs. So bending and straightening one leg at a time, feeling into the back of the hamstrings. Just wobble your head from side to side, so making sure that there's no tension in the head and neck. And on your next breath in, press the hands into the shins, coming up to a beautiful flat back, so one long line from the crown of the head to the tip of the tailbone. And release that air as you release into your fold. Bend the knees deeply, breathe in, reach up for the sky, and then breathe out, come straight back down into your fold. Inhale, halfway lift, nice flat back, gazing at the top of the mat, and breathe out, back down into your fold. Inhale, reach up for the sky, once again maybe imagining that beach ball, and then breathing out, back into your fold. Fill the lungs with air as you draw the chest forward and the shoulders back, and release that air as you come back down into your fold. Once again, maybe pedaling the legs. Inhale, grow tall, reach for the sky, stretching from head to toe, and breathe out, coming back down to your fold. Deep breath in, coming up to a flat back. Now this time, as you breathe out, place both hands on the floor and then step 1 foot at a time back to your plank. So let's just take a moment here in our first plank to connect to our core, finding some strength in the arms, spreading through the fingers and stacking shoulders over elbows, over wrists. Keep the legs nice and active, so imagine like you're trying to press your heels into an invisible wall behind you. And now let's take some rocks, finding some movement back and forth, propelling ourselves using our toes, so coming up onto the tiptoes, warming up through the wrists here, engaging through the core the entire time, and making sure we're not locking out our elbows, so maybe micro bending them. And anytime we come to our plank today, you can drop down to the knees if you need to. Just 3 more deep breaths here, taking these rocks. Now we're all going to drop our knees down to the mat, lift the toes, bend the elbows as we lower down onto the belly. Inhale, lift the chest, coming into our cobra pose, and then exhale, coming through the knees, lifting the hips up towards the sky, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in here, maybe pedaling through the legs, bringing even more length into the hamstrings. Once again, making sure there's no tension in the head and the neck and the shoulders. Deep breath in here, and maybe sigh it out through the mouth. On your next breath in, rise up onto your tiptoes, bend into the knees, and as you breathe out, either step or hop, landing in your forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, get nice and long. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up for the sky, growing tall. Exhale, straight back down into your fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step 1 foot at a time to the back of the mat, and then work all the way down to the belly, lowering down in one long line. Inhale, cobra pose, and exhale, either come up into your plank and back to down dog, or come back via the knees. Inhale here, and exhale. Inhale onto the tiptoes, bending the knees. Exhale, hopping forward, landing or stepping into your fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Bend the knees, breathe in as you reach for the sky, and release that air as you come down into your fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping it back to plank, and then either working down through your cobra all the way down, or going through your chaturanga, coming into upward facing dog, and then we'll all meet back in downward facing dog. Let's take one last sun salutation. So inhale, prepare. Exhale, stepping or hopping to the top of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling to fold. Inhale, reach up for the sky, growing tall, maybe taking it into a little baby back bend, and then exhale, diving back down into your fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, maybe jumping back through your chaturanga, or taking whichever option works for you today. Take another deep breath here, opening through the chest, and then release that air as you make your way back to downward facing dog. Deep breath in and breathe out. On your next breath in, sweep that right leg up to the sky, keeping the shoulders level, so not dumping all of our weight into the left hand, and then let that top knee bend, the heel comes towards your glute, and let's start to make some big circles with that right knee, going in whichever direction you wish, and then switch directions. On your next breath in, sweep that leg up towards the sky, really energizing through the legs, and then exhale, draw the knee in towards the nose, rounding through the spine, and then step that foot through between the hands. Let's all drop down onto the back knee, either keeping the back toes tucked under or bringing them flat, finding some energy in the legs, so drawing that right hip back and the left hip forwards, and making sure that that knee is stacking above the ankle. Inhale, sweep both arms up overhead. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, sweep those arms up overhead. Exhale, take the right hand to the right hip, stretch over to the right hand side. Let's take a full cycle of breath here, so breathing into that left side body, and breathing out, taking it even further into that stretch. Inhale, sweep both arms overhead. Exhale, take it over to the other side, left hand to left hip. Full cycle of breath here, filling that right side body with air, and releasing that air as you bend even further into the stretch. Inhale, sweep both arms up overhead. Exhale, take the hands to the floor, straighten that front leg, rocking back onto the heel, coming into our half splits. Let's inhale, get nice and long, lifting up onto the fingertips, and maybe exhaling, folding over the leg if you wish. 2 deep breaths here, keeping that right foot nice and active. and noticing whether the hips are veering off to one side, so trying to keep them nice and square, nice and straight. On your next inhale, rock forward back into your low lunge, frame the foot, pick up the back knee, step it back to plank, and either go straight back to down dog or work your way through a chaturanga. Inhaling to open through the chest, exhaling, all meeting back in downward facing dog. Now inhale, sweep that left leg up towards the sky and bend that top knee. Start to take nice big circles with that left knee. Going in one direction and then switching directions. Keeping the weight evenly balanced through both shoulders, both hands. Inhale, extend that leg up towards the sky. Exhale, knee in towards the nose, round through the spine. Step that foot through between the hands. Drop that back knee down. Once again, find some energy in the legs, drawing the inner thighs towards one another, lifting through the chest, stacking the head over the heart, over the hips. On your next inhale, reach the arms up for the sky, and this time exhale, coming into our cactus. Deep breath in, reach up for the sky. Deep breath out, left hand to left hip, stretching over to the left. Full cycle of breath here. Fill that right side body with air. And breathe out, maybe reach those right fingers even further to the left. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, right hand comes to right hip, stretching over to the right. Deep breath in here. And breathe out, lengthening through that left side body. Fill the lungs with air as you reach up for the sky, and release that air as you frame the foot and straighten that leg, coming into our half split. Inhale, get long, coming up onto the fingertips, and exhale, take it into the fold, keeping those hips square, keeping the head in line with the spine. Deep breath in, rock back forwards into your low lunge, pick up that back knee, step it back to plank, and we're going to hold our plank here. Remember, you can drop down to the knees at any time if you need to. You can either just stay in your plank or on your knees, or we're going to tap opposite hand to opposite shoulder. So right hand to left shoulder, back to the mat. Left hand to right shoulder, back to the mat. Keep on going, working at your own pace, going as fast or as slow as you wish. Trying to keep the hips reasonably level, so not completely veering off to one side as you shift the weight from one hand to another. Let's take 4 more taps, so 2 more on each shoulder. And then come back to your plank, either go straight to down dog or work your way down through a cobra or through a chaturanga. Inhaling to lift, exhaling back to downward facing dog. Deep breath in here, reconnect to the breath if you lost it. Maybe sigh it out through the mouth. On your next breath in, sweep that right leg up to the sky, and then exhale, draw the knee in towards the nose. Let's hold here for an extra moment, and then step it through between the hands. This time keep that back knee off the floor if you wish, or you can come down to the low lunge like we were before. If you're coming with me, we'll inhale to rise up into our crescent lunge. Once again, stacking head over heart over hips, And working towards parallel with that front thigh, bringing it parallel to the floor. Inhale here, exhale cactus, maybe taking it into a little baby back bend. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, stretch over to the right. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, take it over to the left. Inhale, reach for the sky. Now exhale, bring the hands to the hips, straighten the front leg. If you're down in your low lunge, you'll just come back to your half splits, or if you're coming with me, we'll start to hinge from the hips, working our way down into our extended pyramid, maybe bringing the fingertips to the floor. The back heel stays lifted off the mat, and we keep that nice long spine as we stretch through the front leg. Maybe inhaling to find length and exhaling, folding down over that leg. Now bend back into that knee. Inhale, sweep the arms back overhead. Exhale, bring the hands to prayer, and then twist over to the right, hooking that left elbow to the outside of the right knee or the right thigh. 2 deep breaths here, as always, inhaling, maybe getting a little bit longer, and exhaling, taking it a little bit deeper, using that left elbow to lever yourself into the twist, twisting from the upper spine. Now get really heavy in your right foot, put all your weight on it, and then step that left foot forward, coming into a twisted chair pose, or you can just stay in a twisted low lunge if that's where you're at today. 2 deep breaths here in our twist. And unravel, coming into our chair pose. If you stayed in low lunge, then just step that back foot to meet the front and rise up, coming to meet us in our chair pose. Sink deeper than you want to, so really energizing through the legs. Look down, make sure you can still see your toes, and make sure that the shoulders aren't creeping up too high by the ears. One more deep breath in, and breathe out to straighten the legs, reach up for the sky, and breathe out, bring the hands to interlace behind the lower back. Inhale, puff that chest up towards the sky, and then exhale, bend the knees, come down into your fold, letting the hands flop down towards the earth, and drawing the heels of the hands towards one another. Stay here, or you can tap the elbow and the knee towards one another, so bending and straightening one leg at a time as you dip the shoulders in, stretching through the chest, stretching through the legs. Now release that clasp, inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, either take it straight back to downward facing dog or work down through a chaturanga or through a cobra, inhaling to upward facing dog and exhaling to downward facing dog. Let's go straight for the other side. So deep breath in, sweep that left leg up towards the sky and release that air as you round through the spine. Draw the knee in towards the nose, hold it here for just an extra beat, and then step it through between the hands. Either coming with me into high lunge or taking the low lunge once again if that works best for you. Inhaling here, reaching those fingertips up towards the sky, and exhaling to cactus, maybe taking it into a little baby back bend. Inhale, reach up, exhale, take it over to the left. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, stretch over to the right. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, either hands to hips or hands to the mat if you're in your low lunge, and then straighten that front leg, coming into pyramid or into half splits. Whichever variation you've chosen, we'll inhale to get long and exhale to fold down over that leg. Deep breaths in here, sending that breath into the back of the left leg. Breathing out, softening into the stretch. Now rebend into that front knee. Inhale, sweep both arms up overhead. Exhale, bring the hands together at prayer, and then hook that right elbow to the outside of the left knee. 2 deep breaths here, really twisting from the upper spine, keeping the gaze wherever is comfortable, and keeping those legs nice and active. Now get really heavy in that left foot if you're in your high lunge, and then stepping forwards into our twisted chair, or just staying in our twisted lunge for an extra breath. Then unravel, reaching up into our chair pose and stepping that back foot in and rising up into your chair if you were in the low lunge. Two more deep breaths here. Can you take it even deeper? And release as you breathe in, stretching it up to the sky. And then breathe out. Let's just come straight down into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, stepping it back to downward facing dog or working through a chaturanga. Inhaling, opening through the chest. If you've come into upward facing dog, let's just take a moment here. Take the right chin, just the chin to the right shoulder, stretching through the left side of the neck, and then come back through centre, over to the other side. And then let's all meet back in our downward facing dog. Deep breath in here, and breathe out. Now let's drop down onto our elbows, coming into dolphin pose. You can start to walk the feet in slightly if you wish, really pushing out through the elbows and the shoulders. You can either stay in dolphin or in downward facing dog, or you can join me in some dolphin dog push-ups. So either one elbow at a time or both at a time. You're going to push back up from your dolphin into your downward facing dog. Take it back down to dolphin, back to dog. If you're pressing up with one elbow at a time, try and alternate between them so that you're not always pressing up with the same one first. Just keep going at your own pace, at your own rhythm. Resting in downward facing dog at any point if you need to. Let's do 5 more. And let's all meet back in dolphin. Then step the feet out to the back of the mat, coming into a forearm plank. Once again, you can drop down to the knees at any time if you need to. We're just going to hold here for 5 deep breaths. And release. Drop that belly down to the floor. Keep the arms just as they are. Lifting the chest forward and the shoulders back here in our Sphinx pose. Now you can either stay here or you can slide the hands back. So the hands are going to be under the shoulders, in line with the ribs. Coming into our cobra pose, you can stay here or you can lift the hands to hover off the mat, really finding some strength in the lower back. You can stay here or you can lift the feet off the mat. And you can stay here or you can extend those arms straight out ahead. Let's take 3 more deep breaths in whichever variation you've chosen. And release. Drop everything down to the mat, maybe resting the forehead on the top of the hands, stacking one on top of the other. And then press into the hands. Let's all press our way back into a wide leg child's pose. So letting the chest and the belly sink down towards the floor, reaching the fingertips out long, maybe coming up onto the fingertips to intensify that stretch in the shoulders, maybe wiggling around, feeling into the hip space. Maybe stacking one hand on top of the other, creating a little pillow for your forehead. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, walk those hands over to the right, stacking the left hand on top of the right, pushing that left hip back in space. Opening through the left side body. Inhale back through centre. Exhale, take it over to the left. Inhale back through centre. Now stretch those hands out nice and long, come up onto the knees, bringing the knees to hip width apart, keeping the hips over the knees, walking the hands forward, sinking the chest down into our puppy pose. Once again, coming up onto fingertips to intensify the stretch. Now keep that left hand where it is and let's thread the right arm underneath, coming onto right ear and right shoulder, either staying here using that left hand to push yourself deeper into the twist, or lifting that left hand off the mat, reaching it around for the right inner thigh, coming into a bind. Unwind the bind, nice little rhyme there. Extend that right arm and let's switch sides. So threading that left arm underneath, either using that right hand to take you deeper or reaching that right arm up and over, reaching for that left inner thigh, really opening through the chest and the shoulders. Unwind, extend the arm out long. Let's just take one final breath in our puppy pose. And then walk those hands back towards the knees, coming to sit down on the heels. We'll bring the hands to interlace behind the lower back and take it into even more of a lovely heart opener. So drawing the chest forward and the shoulders back, reaching the heels of the hands towards one another, and just gazing wherever feels comfortable on your neck. Release that clasp, and you're just going to swing the feet around to one side before extending them out straight ahead of you, coming into our staff pose. So head over heart over hips as always, feet are nice and active, flexing all 10 toes back towards the face. Now you're going to stamp that right foot next to that right knee, bring the right hand behind, inhale, sweep that left arm up, and then exhale, either giving that knee a nice hug or hooking the elbow over the knee. So take whichever option allows you to keep lots of space through the chest, which allows you to keep a nice long spine. So if hooking the elbow means that you collapse, then just come back to that nice little hug. And make sure you're keeping the twist in the upper spine rather than craning your neck to take you deeper. Unwind, maybe take a little baby counter twist in the other direction, and then let that right knee flop out to the right, bringing the sole of the right foot to stamp next to the left thigh. Inhaling, reaching up, exhaling, folding over that left leg, hinging from the hips and thinking about reaching that chest forward towards the toes rather than reaching it down towards the leg. So keeping that nice long spine rather than hunching over. Maybe inhaling to find some length and exhaling to find some depth. Using the hands, just press your way back up and extend that right leg out long, then bring that left foot to stamp next to the right knee. Take that left hand behind, inhale, reach the right arm up, and then exhale, either hugging that right knee or hooking the elbow. Keeping that integrity in the spine, keeping that nice open chest. Take a look at your right foot, make sure those toes are still really nice and active, flexing back towards your face. And then unravel, let that left knee flop out, bringing the foot to the right thigh. Inhaling, reaching tall, exhaling, taking it into the fold, into our Janu Shirshasana. Keep those shoulders nice and soft, so notice if your shoulders are hunching up by the ears, and just try and draw them away as you draw the chest forward. Start to press your way back up. Now this time, keep the left foot where it is and bring the right foot to meet it. So coming into our Baddha Konasana, the feet don't need to be super close to the groin, so you can walk them further away if you wish. Notice whether the spine is rounding forward. As always, you want it to be nice and long. If you're really rounding forward like this, you can roll up your mat or you can prop yourself up on the edge of a cushion. Let's inhale to get long and then exhale, folding down. Pressing the elbows into the thighs to really deepen into that hip stretch if you wish. You can just stay upright if that feels like enough of a stretch for you. Or you can join me, inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to fold. Sending the breath into those sensations. Now press your way back up. You might need to shuffle forward on your mat a bit. So planting those feet on the floor, extending the fingertips out long, and slowly rolling your way down. So see if you can stay upright longer than I can. Can you beat me in holding? As you work your way down, can you go even slower than me? And then release. Let's give ourselves a nice big hug. Hugging those knees into the chest, maybe rocking from side to side. And then bring the hands to the knees, take them away from each other in nice big circles. And switch direction of the circles. Give yourself another big squeeze and then shift the hips a few inches to the left and then drop those knees over to the right, either stacking or staggering the knees. If there's another variation of a supine twist that you prefer, you can go ahead and take that. Just making sure that both shoulders are glued down onto the mat. Now come back through centre, shift those hips a few inches over to the right and then drop the knees over to the left. Maybe guiding them across with the left hand, maybe reaching those right fingertips up towards the top corner of the mat. Gaze can be up to the sky or to the side, whichever feels best for your neck. Now come back through centre, maybe give yourself one final squeeze, maybe draw the forehead up towards the knees, and then release. If there's any other movements that are calling to you before we come into our Shavasana, please take those now. If you're ready for your Shavasana, let's just land here together. So letting the feet flop out wide, letting the fingertips soften and curl in towards the palms. Finding some length through the lower back and maybe drawing the shoulder blades together to create a little pillow for your heart to rest on. Find some length through the back of the neck, so maybe tuck the chin in slightly. And notice whether there's any tension in the face and the jaw. Just try and soften. And like we did at the start, just take a moment to scan the body, noticing how the body feels. Does it feel different from the start? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. There's no right or wrong answer. And again, notice what's going on in your mind, noticing the thoughts, just connecting to your inner landscape. Just letting the breath soften and return to its natural rhythm. As you're ready, start to bring some gentle movements back to the body. Maybe wiggling the fingers and toes, maybe circling the ankles and the wrists, maybe taking a big stretch overhead. Just see what your body is calling out for today. And then as you're ready, you can roll over onto your favourite side before slowly pressing your way back up to a comfortable seat. Bring the hands together at heart centre. Let's just take a deep releasing breath to close our practice. So deep breath in through the nose and sigh out through the mouth. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I really hope you enjoyed that. If you did, I would love a comment from you, letting me know what you thought. Maybe give it a like, maybe subscribe to my channel to see more from me, and hopefully I will see you again soon.